I'm sorry, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. He's dead. Mega Man's dead. He's dead. On December 17th, 1987, Mega Man was released in Japan for the Nintendo Famicom and later that month for the Nintendo Entertainment System in North America. The series has spanned over 50 games, several different genres, and has stood the test of time as an icon in video games. At least, that's what it used to be. Poor decisions from Capcom have caused the series to decline and kept any new main series games from coming out since 2010. I shouldn't have to tell you that I'm a hardcore fan of this franchise, but I just did. I own over 40 games from the series, and Mega Man has continued to be my favorite despite his decline. Earlier in 1987, Capcom introduced the fighting game genre to many gamers by releasing Street Fighter to the arcades. It was moderately successful but very limited in its approach, allowing for only 2 playable characters, Ryu for player 1 and Ken for player 2. These characters could not be swapped out for any other characters available in the game. In 1989, a sequel was planned called Street Fighter 89. It would feature all new characters as well as a change in genre to beat 'em up rather than a fighter. This change was made because beat 'em ups were popular and Capcom wanted a hit in the genre. However, the game's name was changed to Final Fight because it was too different from the original Street Fighter. It would spawn a series of its own and would work in conjunction with the Street Fighter series. It would take another 2 years for a true sequel to Street Fighter to come out, and in 1991, Street Fighter II: The World Warriors was released in the arcades. The game added several improvements to the original game, such as a full cast of new and improved selectable characters, a tighter fighting engine, and the introduction of a story and narrative, as well as other noticeable improvements. Needless to say, the game was a hit, and helped push fighting games into the mainstream. The series would have a vast amount of sequels, expansions, spin-offs, and crossovers to keep it fresh in the video game world. In 1994, as part of Capcom's deal with Marvel, they released X-Men: Children of the Atom, a fighting game that consisted of characters from the X-Men series. One of the Easter eggs in the game was the inclusion of Akuma as a guest character. This ultimately led to more cameos from Capcom characters until 1996, when X-Men vs. Street Fighter was released as a full crossover game between the two series. The series would evolve from there into Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter in 1997, and then finally into Marvel vs. Capcom: Clash of the Superheroes in 1998. Marvel vs. Capcom would receive several sequels, while in the coming years Capcom would cross over with other companies like SNK, Namco, Tatsunoko, and the Tekken series, earning them a reputation as a developer that made exceptional fighting games and crossover fan service. In 2012, Capcom would celebrate Street Fighter's 25th anniversary with several events and a game compilation. However, Street Fighter was not the only series celebrating 25 years. After 2 years of cancellations, ports, and overall disappointment, there wasn't much hope for Mega Man's 25th. Even myself, a hardcore Mega Man fan, had given up all hope that the series would ever return. Face it, Mega Man is dead, is what I said. Until one Saturday, while I was literally playing Mega Man 5 for the Game Boy, I got sent a video. I clicked on it, and I was not prepared for what I was about to see. Two words. Fuck yes. Mega Man was back in a new game, and this time he wasn't up against Wily or any Robot Masters, but the world's strongest warriors from the Street Fighter series. I'll be honest, when I saw the video title, I thought, oh yeah, another Capcom vs. Fighter fucking whatever. Then BAM! It's a Mega Man! Jumping and shooting and sliding and mega busting? Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah! It's like they put two awesome Capcom franchises together in a classic side-scrolling platforming shooter, and I couldn't wait to get my hands on it. I was like, shit, I'm buying this day one. What's that? It's gonna be free? Ooh. Take my money. I said take! So yeah, needless to say, I was excited. But there's a bit of an interesting story behind how this came to be. Zhou Zhonghui, also known as Sonic ZH, was a game developer from Singapore and a die-hard fan of Street Fighter and Mega Man. He started developing the game in 2009 in his spare time using Game Maker, with George Papapetro assisting with the art and Luke Esquivel composing the music. They worked on the game until Zhonghui nervously showed an early build of the game to Christian Svensson at EVO 2012 in July. Svensson was impressed and asked if he could take a copy of the game back with him to Capcom. He handed the game off to Brett Elston at Capcom and asked him what he thought. Brett was also very impressed. So from that point forward, Capcom hired Zhonghui to complete the game and helped fund and promote the project. The game was later revealed on December 8th, 2012 to fan excitement and mixed opinions. The trailer showed that the game would be released on December 17th, 2012, the same day Mega Man was released for the Famicom 25 years earlier, and the game would be an exclusive to the PC and above all things, free. One of the early criticisms was that this was a lazy release from Capcom, fans saying that it's just a fan game and it wasn't developed by Capcom. Look, Street Fighter Cross Mega Man is an officially licensed Mega Man and Street Fighter game. Capcom hired Sing Zhonghui to finish it. They gave him funding so he could finish it. They promoted it, they marketed it, they advertised it, and they published it. As for it not being developed by Capcom, Mega Man's 9 and 10 were developed by Capcom either. They were developed by a third-party company, Inti Creates. And while a lot of people who work at Inti Creates used to work for Capcom, they had to approach Capcom that this would be a viable game to market. So regardless of how the game was made, it is an officially published Mega Man game. Whether you accept that or not is up to you, but it doesn't change the fact that it's still an officially published Mega Man game. And for God's sakes, it's free. So let's stop talking about all this bullshit and just play the damn game. The plot of Street Fighter Cross Mega Man is simple. Because there isn't one. No, seriously, there isn't even an opening cutscene or any cutscenes in the game that give any explanation. I can't fault the game for this because 1, it's a crossover spin-off, and 2, it's not the Robo-Enza. There is, however, one cutscene at the end of the game, but it doesn't explain anything and I'm not going to spoil it here. I'm sure most of you are going to recognize the gameplay of Street Fighter Cross Mega Man as it's very similar to Mega Man 4 and 5. The Slide and Mega Buster are included, and in my opinion, it is a welcomed feature. Don't get me wrong, I love Mega Man 9 and 10, but I would have loved to have those features without having to play as Proto Man and take 4 times the damage. One feature that's left completely out of the game is the robot helpers. No auto, no eddy, and no beat. You don't even get any rush adapters. Rush only appears once in the game, in the first section of Rose's stage. However, the game does offer some interesting changes. For instance, when you lose a life, all your weapon energy is automatically refilled, so there's no need for an energy equalizer or weapon tanks. Speaking of which, E-tanks are in the game, but they are limited and can only be used once, so once you've used it, it's gone and you can't recollect it. So I'd advise saving them for the later stages. One thing that never shows up in the game are the disappearing platforms, and thank God! I hate those damn things. The game also offers some new features and content, such as a completely new enemy roster. And yes, while the Me-Tools and Sniper Joes are included, they have new roles in the game. Other features include a new take on instant death lasers and a Super Mario World style climbing cage. Anyways, back to the gameplay. The controls are your basic WASD setup for PC games. However, if you're like me, you'll get a controller. Speaking of which, the game only supports wired Xbox 360 controllers and PS3 controllers. I'll admit, this ticked me off a little bit, only because I've always used the same Logitech controller with no issues for every game I've wanted to use it for. To be fair, my controller has the exact same layout as a Sony controller, but it's the fact that now if I want to use a controller, I'll have to use Joy to Key or get DS3 for my PS3 controllers. Luckily, version 2 of the game that is yet to come out will fix this issue, so these are minor complaints. Like I said before, the game plays like Mega Man 4 and 5, except it's a little stiff sometimes. Most of the time the game will be playing just fine, and then I'd have issues jumping off ladders or aiming my buster. Luckily these never cause me deaths, just maybe a little damage, but it can mess you up. Another problem is that sometimes, especially during lag, your moves won't register. I'll admit, I don't have that strong of a PC, and even then it was a rare occurrence for me, but it can mess you up. Again, these are minor problems that I happen to catch. Depending on your PC, you may or may not have these issues. Also, Blanca's stage has been known to lag or cause slowdown. I only ever felt this when I was recording the game, but it's a common observation. Now that we've covered the Mega Man side of things, let's take a look at what Street Fighter has to offer. And what better place to start than the bosses? The game consists of 8 bosses like the other Mega Man games, but of course, this time they're Street Fighter characters. I'm gonna go ahead and get the ones I know the most about out of the way first. Chun-Li is probably the best way to start off the game. Her stage is short and she's the simplest boss. Chun-Li's weapon is her lightning kick, which is a close-range series of fast and strong kicks. And unlike other short-range weapons like topspin and charge kick, it has some range on it, so you're less likely to get hit while using it. It also allows you to hover in the air for a short time. Blanka is the boss I usually start with, and it's really because of his weapon, Tropical Hazard. It is literally a melon you can kick at enemies or jump on to reach greater height. I'm sure most of you are wondering why melons instead of, say, an electrical attack. My theory is since Rush wasn't going to be included in the game as a feature, they might as well incorporate a higher jumping ability into another weapon. Plus, in Street Fighter Alpha 3, Blanka's story starts by him eating melons. No, seriously, he sneaks onto a melon truck and eats melons until he realizes the truck has taken him somewhere completely different. Moving on, Dalsim's stage is a maze with different paths leading to extra goodies or dead ends. Once you've defeated him, you'll get the Yoga Inferno, which is a stream of flames you can aim in any direction. It has a short range, but it can help you get out of sticky situations. And of course, the battle we were all waiting for, Ryu. His stage won't give you much trouble, but for Ryu himself, he's a challenge with or without his weakness. Defeating him, you'll get, you guessed it, the Hadoken. It basically boils down to being a stronger but slower Mega Buster. One of the more interesting boss choices is Rolento. He's originally from the Final Fight series and joined the Street Fighter roster in Alpha 2. His fighting pattern is actually pretty close to his Final Fight pattern, without all the cheapness, of course. His weapon is the Minesweeper. Really? I know this game is a PC exclusive and he's a German-American military officer, but really? Anyways, the Minesweeper shoots in an arc, so it can be difficult to use. This is most evident when trying to use them against Urien. Speaking of Urien, otherwise known as the less gay clone of Guild, he is insanely fast, insanely powerful, and is only wearing tidy white. Come on, man, we don't need to see that! Then again, I had the idea to cosplay E Honda, so I shouldn't talk. Urien is what I consider to be one of the more difficult battles in the game. When you beat him, you'll receive the Aegis Reflector, an interesting weapon that's only useful against projectiles. I bet you can't guess whose weakness that is! Totally not a guy who shoots projectiles out of his hands and could probably get hit by them and take a lot of damage. It's obviously Blanka. It's obviously Blanka. Rose is the second of the female Street Fighters. She is a fortune teller, which by the game's logic means she uses freaking large tarot cards of death. Her weapon is the Soul Satellite, which not only shoots a telekinetic blast, but gives you an energy shield that can protect you from certain attacks, as well as cause damage on impact. The last selectable and female boss is the strong, the sexy, Crimson Viper! And I have no idea who she is. Okay, I researched, calm down. Viper is an agent working for Sin, or the US government, or Sin. Okay, what the fuck is she? Is she a double agent, a triple agent, or just an agent? Anyways, she's also one of the tougher bosses, but if you can figure out her patterns, she's not too bad. Her weapon is the Optic Laser, which comes out of the Mega Buster for some reason, and it allows you to rain laser death across the land! No, seriously, it's fucking powerful. By the way, whenever you get a new weapon, you test it against Dan, which is a hilarious little Easter egg. As with any Mega Man game, you'll end up doing some endgame stages after the 8 main boss battle, which also contains some interesting bosses. First up is Balrog, and he's a tough motherfucker. There's a simple strategy to this boss, and it's run! Run for your goddamn life! The next up is Vega, who has the most annoying stage ever. He's also pretty tough, but not quite as tough as people let on. His pattern is easy to learn, and as long as you play his AI right, he's easy enough to beat. The real challenge is that his range of attack is fairly wide, and he deals a lot of damage. After defeating him, you'll get to deal with one of the hardest and most annoying parts of the game, the boss gauntlet. Some of you might be going, how could this be hard? I just kicked all these motherfuckers' asses and now I'm gonna do it again. Well, you see, this all goes back to the E-tanks. If you were smart and saved them, then this will make things easier. But if you remember, E-tanks are limited and can't be recollected, so you have to really decide if using one's worth it. And if you use one and you game over, guess what? You've wasted it. The bosses in the boss gauntlet only stay dead if you don't game over. So you better save those E-tanks until you get used to how the boss gauntlet works. Also, pro tip, shoot the hands in the middle to get energy and health back. It ain't much, but every little bit counts. Once you've gotten past the boss gauntlet, there's one boss left, and I mean, if you played any Street Fighter game, chances are you know who this is. But for those who haven't, I'll leave you in suspense. The only thing I'll say is he is balls easy. He just takes forever to fucking kill. There's also a secret boss you can fight after the final boss if you're able to beat 3 or 4 of the bosses without taking a hit, or otherwise gaining a perfect. But fuck that! I might be good at Mega Man games, but I'm not fucking crazy. Besides, I don't need to be spoiling the surprise. You play the game and find it out for yourself. Now there's probably something you've noticed while I was talking about the boss fights, and that's each boss has 2 meters, a normal one for health and a red one that keeps filling up. The red meter is the boss's special meter. Every time you hit the boss, this meter goes up, and when it's full, the boss can unleash their super move against you, and you'll want to dodge it, trust me. Speaking of which, the boss's fighting styles and super moves work just like they do in the Street Fighter games, so even if you've never played Mega Man and are extremely skilled at Street Fighter, you'll know what to expect from each boss. Music in the game is fantastic. All the tracks are 8-bit mashups of Street Fighter and Mega Man themes, and they fit perfectly together. Capcom music has always been a treat to listen to, so my thoughts are the same here. As for the sound effects, all the standard Mega Man sounds are here as well as some new sounds. There's even some mini voices programmed in for the characters. It's not a big deal, but it's the little things like that that make this game special. The graphics are okay. They have a very Mega Man 1, 2, and 3 feel to them. They represent the Street Fighter material well, but it isn't up to par with the later Mega Man games like 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10. Don't get me wrong, the graphics look good and I like the look and feel of the game. It just feels like they could have been better. Play a little of this, then play Mega Man 10 again and you'll see what I mean. In terms of glitches, I only came across one, and that was floating E-tanks. This only occurs every so often and usually appears half stuck in the wall in Ryu's stage. There's also a glitch that if you prepare the Soul Satellite, you can insta-kill the final boss. Fortunately, these glitches didn't happen while I was recording. Luckily, my good old friend Mr. Kirby caught them and allowed me to use his footage to showcase them. So thanks, man. So what's my final verdict on Street Fighter Cross Mega Man? It's a really good game. Does it hold up to the other ones? I have to say yeah. Again, it feels a lot like 4 and 5, and if you were one of those people that thought 9 and 10 were too hard, or you just couldn't get into them, this game's a little more leveled for that. It's challenging, yes, but it's not going to alienate new players. And the best of all, it's free, so if you have an internet connection better than dial-up, and you have a PC that was built after 1999, download this right now. It's free. I can't say anything other than that. Version 2 is coming out probably by the time this video goes up, and it's going to include passwords, difficulty is going to be restructured, a whole bunch of things are going to be added into version 2. So, go to Capcom Unity's Mega Man site, download this, it's free. I got nothing else to say. Thanks for watching my review, I'll see you guys next time. Wait a minute, Winston. What have we done? What have we done? What have we done to Mega Man? What have we done? We ruined everything. We ruined everything!
Hey guys, it's me, Rich, from development.
Rich? What the fuck are you doing here?
Okay, you know as 25th anniversary of both Mega Man and Street Fighter, we need to put both together. One game.
Another crossover fighting game. I like it.
No, you guys have done way too many fighting games. We need another Mega Man.
Well, what do we do?
We guys have done way too many robots. We need Street Fighter.
Replacing the Robot Masters with Street Fighter characters. That's so crazy, it just might work! You're hired! When can we have the game?